Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for checking in with me and coming to my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond. I eat whole food, plant exclusive, SOFAs free, gluten free to maintain and continue to heal. And I was just about to mix up a smoothie, and I will do that shortly. I was thinking maybe you guys would want to talk about what it's like for me to live in a house with a dog that is not whole food plant-based. Remy is not whole food plant-based. I actually tried to change him to a vegan diet, and for him it didn't work. And the vet, we decided it wasn't good for him. But I want to talk a little bit about him. I want to prepare his food and show you what I'm doing and things that I used to do and how I make it work. Remy was born with a liver disorder. His liver did not develop all the way when he was inside his mama's tummy, and it doesn't work properly. So we have to be very careful not to overload the liver. And the liver is and has been monitored for him his whole life, because we got him when he was just a little pup. Gosh, I think he was just a handful of weeks old. He's this little guy. He was so cute, and he's grown into an adult dog that is adorable still. So we'll see if he wants to say hello at some point. But the vet originally wanted, okay, well, even backing up before then, his original vet, who's not his current vet, had me having him on special dog food and canned food and different, kibbles. And he used to always throw up. I mean, like 6 times a day. And sometimes it was blood. Sometimes it was bile, which is like a yellow, it was horrible. It was horrible. And we couldn't figure out what the problem was. We finally figured it out, and the food just really wasn't working, and he had supplements. And so I switched him over to a vet that had more of a specialty in this problem with dogs. And he's been with her ever since. And so originally he was doing a scoop of like a food, a mixture with, I think it was Honest Kitchen, and you add meat. So I would boil chicken for him, or I would take ground, meat and cook it on the stovetop, no oil, no nothing, just plain. And then I would mix those with some kind of a grain and a vegetable. And as I did my own transition, it was so hard for me to continue to cook meat and deal with chicken. And I was having a really hard time with it. And I still, feel the same way. I didn't want to do that if I didn't have to. And so although he still isn't, a vegan dog. We did change to something, and we kind of found our middle point. But before we changed, I did try to do vegan, and I was making his food, beans and cookies and all kinds of stuff. And it just wasn't working, his blood work. So what we ended up doing, let me grab it. Remy, do you want to say hello? Remy knows that we're cooking with his food, and here is Remy. Hi, Remy. Do you know that we're going to make you some goodies? Remy, do you want some breakfast? Would you like some breakfast? Even at dinner time, we call it breakfast. And I think he's getting excited for that. So the first thing that we do is, and I don't have affiliation with any products, but we kept the Honest Kitchen brand, and he is on a grain-free. This, I don't have to add meat, because unfortunately it's already in. So if I have to give it to him, that's fine. But this way I don't have to handle it. It's dehydrated. And for him, it works. And this is just add water. It says just add water and love. Oh, there is a list of things that are in here, but some of the main things are dehydrated beef, and he does beef or chicken. They do have a fish. We haven't tried it. It's super expensive. Dehydrated beef, dehydrated sweet potatoes, dehydrated potatoes, flaxseed, organic dried coconut, dried parsley, dried papayas, dried cranberries, dried dehydrated pumpkin, dehydrated honey, dehydrated kale, and then it's got a bunch of minerals that it lists. Potassium chloride and a bunch of them. I'm not going to read all of them. There's iron, amino acids, potassium, copper, so on and so forth. And then there's a bunch of vitamins. So it's supplemented with vitamin E and B12 and a bunch of different Bs. And it looks like there is a fish oil for DHA and EPA. Bummer, but okay, that's what it is for dogs. And so for Remy, he has this, and oh, my scooper is full. Darn it, I was trying to be ready. Anyhow, I have this little scooper. This is his scooper, and I just scoop out. This one is getting towards the end. A little less than a cup, and it's just this powder. It's like powder. And I put it in his bowl. Here's his little doggy bowl. Eat. So I just pour it directly in there. And usually it's dry, but I just had water in it, so it's all stuck. But what I do is I will fill the water in and kind of swish it around, and it'll end up all being in there. And then he does have some supplements. He has Fortiflora, which is a probiotic supplement, and it is not whole food plant-based. And I was a little shocked when I saw what was in here, but Remy's not a human, although sometimes I think he thinks he is. I think he is. So he's waiting right by my feet because I think he's hungry. And then he takes this, which doesn't have anything to do with his liver. This is Biodent. This is skeletal health, and this helps him mostly with his teeth and bone. So he gets one of these pills that I get from the vet, and it's just literally like a circle. I put all of this in his food. Whoops, not the cap, which I just dropped here. Let me lower this. And so this way it just will become a part of his dish, and he doesn't have to take anything. And then the last thing, this is a liver support. It's called canine hepatic support. And he's been doing this, gosh, for years, since he got changed over. And I just measure out just, a little under this little scooper, under the full amount, throw that in there. And, for me, even though I know that there's animals in it, I don't now have to also vote with my dollar and have to actually make it. And then this is what's working. So let me just put this stuff down over here. And then that is not it. So I need to add to this. And what I add to this is either some kind of rice. He likes white rice. He'll do brown rice, or potato, sweet potato, white potato, some kind of a grain. I have given him, I think, quinoa, but we tend to stick with those others. And so I have cooked potatoes. Just these are the last bits of some cooked potatoes. And so that normally we will keep his food in these so that we know, oh, that's a Remy food. I just ran out of his food, and so this is from our stash. So I might move a couple of these into his, but he cannot have the skin. So what I do is, this is a half of one because I think I gave him the other half. I just peel the skin off and put it in there. If these are a little on the drier side, for whatever reason, I'm going to peel the skin off in the sink. So you can't see me right this second because I want to make sure that none of it goes in his bowl, but I just peel it. Usually it comes off really easily. And like I said, this seems to be a little bit, you could chop it, you could do whatever, but for me, I literally squish it, squeeze it, and just get all kinds of dirty in it. And put his potato in there. If it was rice, I wouldn't need to do this, but I want it broken down. and he has had a couple teeth extracted, and he tends to bite very gently. So I want to make sure that he isn't struggling, because if it's too big, another thing that he'll do, he'll spit it right out and leave it right next to the bowl. So that won't be helpful either. And then I usually have a second one of these kind of containers, and I keep him, he has vegetables. So I make him organic vegetables. We do everything from broccoli, which is the ones that we use the most are organic broccoli and organic cauliflower, but he will eat peas and carrots. He doesn't like the peas the way they come in the pea form. So I kind of got to give him like smash them up a little bit. And most any other, he loves zucchini, most any other vegetable, I was going to say he loves zucchini and any kind of squash. Pumpkin is great. So today I ran out of the broccoli, which is what he had. And sometimes I'll do fresh broccoli and fresh cauliflower. And sometimes I'll do the store-bought from Costco, the organic. And right now behind me right here, I have some of his cauliflower cooking. That was the riced cauliflower from Costco. And so I'm going to go ahead and take that out and maybe get myself another container for him. So here's another container. Now, I don't like to put hot food in here, so I will wait until it cools and then I'll put it in here, because I don't think that this is, BPA friendly, or, lacking BPA. I think that this is just inexpensive plastic that isn't meant for hot. Okay, so let's go back to the bowl. No, let's go back to this. I turned it off, and I'm gonna get myself some mitts. I tried to cook his cooked foods enough to last 3 to 5 days, because I don't want to be doing this all the time, and he just so happened to run out. But inside the pot, especially with the cauliflower that's riced or anything that's really tiny, I've learned that if I put it in a steamer basket and the water is underneath in the top, let's see if I could drain that a little bit. I have another insert here, let me see, which is like one of these guys. And I just set it in here, and I find that it works a lot better. And I think this is Corningware. And I used this, I have 2 of these particular, this exact size. I use this shape also in the Instant Pot when I'm making oats. And so this is hot, but the cauliflower is finished. And Remy has his own spoon. So I'm going to grab his spoon. This is his spoon. And I'm not even sure where this spoon came from, but this is not our silverware set. And so we use it. I only like to use his spoon in his containers and his food bowl. I don't like to mix anything. So anyways, I'm going to do about a 1/4 cup of the cauliflower. Now this is super hot. So normally it'll be cold. Sometimes I take it right out of the refrigerator and give it to him cold, and he's fine with it. He doesn't seem to mind either way with the temperature. I used to think that he liked it hot, and I used to heat everything constantly for him, but I found that he doesn't really mind. So anyhow, there's plenty still in here. I'm going to let it cool over here, maybe on our little cooling rack thing. And the next step is going to be the water. And on this current refrigerator, which we've been having trouble with, is a water feature that does hot water. So I just push it to 150. Yeah, it's ready. So I usually do 150. I already did it, and it allows me to take, I think, 10 ounces total. So I just pushed the one below it, which is a 90 degree, and I'm going to go and fill this up. And the reason it'll let me, I'm just going to use it. The idea is warm water, and the food is hot. So I just measure this little cup and pour it in here. And normally all the goodies come out, but today, because I had water in it, it really stuck. So I'll just scrape some of it out. but normally I kind of rinse it. Okay, so anyhow, I got his water in here now, and I just give it a stir, and I try to mix up everything. Usually I put his supplements in first. Today I put the food in first. It doesn't really matter as long as everything's mixed well, and then it's kind of soupy. It reminds me sort of like a what do you call those, cup of noodle type things, where you add the water and let it sit for a few minutes. And sometimes it's just not enough water, depending on what vegetable or fruit I have, vegetable or grain I have. And so it'll look soupy. But if I just let it sit, it will thicken up. And if it's leftover, because he won't eat a whole bowl of this, so whatever is done, I will put in his leftover bin, and I'll just stir it up in the morning, and it will be solid, and I'll just chop it up. So that is how he eats, or, you know, what he eats. But can you believe it? He recently is like, you know, I don't really care for that flavor anymore, Mom. So I was able to find a couple different things that we use to spice it up and make it more exciting. I do switch the flavors, like I said, sometimes beef, sometimes chicken on the Honest Kitchen, but I've been using these. They're called meal mixers, and they are totally meat, but you know, this is what it is. This is a Stella and Chewy's. I have no affiliation, as I said before, and they have different flavors. And these are, yeah, meal mixers. I think we'll do this bag. And I have 2 flavors. I go back and forth, and it's like this little dehydrated little piece here. And I just, this isn't warm anymore, so I'll just leave it like that. I just take it and crumble it over his bowl. And then I wash the spoon, and his meal is ready to go. And when he is finished eating and there's still leftovers, he has his own container here. I think this is a Pyrex, but it's also got the lock lid. It's not the same company as this. And I love this because I can keep it in the refrigerator and I don't have to worry about it touching anything else. It just fits right in there. And then it keeps the smells, and it just keeps everything Remy proof. So that is Remy's food. He does have special treats that have to be okayed by the vet for him to have. And so whether or not he eats, that's another story, but at least he'll go sniff it and see what I made for him. These are just these like little bars, and I usually will break them in half and give him half. I have learned that you have to keep these sealed, otherwise they will dry out and be like hard as a rock. So you keep those sealed. And then I also do the Honest Kitchen bone broth bites. They come in different flavors. And these are also grain-free. So everything he has is grain-free. And so for the most part, that's how I work with, you know, having an animal in the house and still having to kind of deal with other animal foods. I have actually purchased a book. Gosh, I wonder, some kind of a cookbook for dogs. I've seen stuff in the past years ago on Chef AJ where there have been, I think it's V dog food, or different people that give recipes. And I've made him chia pudding, just with chia and water. He likes that. I'll even give that on a spoon sometimes. So he does eat a lot of stuff like us, but here and there I have to give a scoop here and there. And he also had valley fever, so we have to supplement him with medication, and we're working to see if we can get him off the medication. But if not, because it stays in their system, it could stay forever if the blood shows that when we try to wean him off, because we've weaned him down, then we might have to do that for life. And so every morning he gets that in something called a pill pocket in the pantry, just like with my husband. I have my food here and he has his food there. And I have, we have an inside refrigerator and outside refrigerator. Remy has his own dog shelf. And that really helps also, so that I don't have to worry about mixing stuff up. And he has other medications. He gets nervous fireworks and different things. So we have to give him, or we can give him, a little piece of some things that help relax him. And he also still has a lot of issues with digestion because of the liver. And so if he's having a lot of throwing up, or he has a lot of stomach aches and I can't get him to eat, then we have tummy medication that we also give him. But he's a happy guy, and I hope that I'm doing him justice. I certainly try my best. He goes for walks when I'm able, and we take our time, and I let him sniff, because I know that that's really important for an animal. They need to, use their senses and sniff things, and keeps them healthy. He goes to the groomer because I don't know how to deal with his crazy curly hair or his nails. And anyways, we just love him. He's part of the family. And please click the like button if you liked this, or place a comment. Tell me, what kind of animal do you have? And if you have any kind of unusual or different way that you feed your animal, I'd love to hear who else has some different things that they do. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and you can hit the little bell for notifications, and you'll be notified whenever I make videos. So thanks for tuning in. Remy and I thank you. Huh, Rem? Did you have a little goodie? Let's see. Did you have a little goodie for breakfast? Come here. You want to say bye-bye? Come here. No, he doesn't want to, but he looks like he's about to go find a toy. Oh, you're going to come? Come on. Let's say goodbye. Come here, good boy. Oh, he did a good job. Say thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much. I got to have a nice breakfast. Bye.